Hello everyone. I actually have been recording for a minute and I forgot to hit the go live button. Typical me, right? But hopefully you all see me now. I did not even realize that I wasn't live. I was, I see that I'm streaming on my software, but then I didn't see. I'm like, why is it not showing red on the YouTube? It's because I forgot to hit go live. So I did start to pull cards, and I'll just recap that. But first I want to say hello, because you all probably didn't think I was live and I'm talking to myself in my cube. Today we are doing a reading on Megan Thee Stallion and Roc Nation going up against independent media. And just for some of you who may not be aware of what's been going on, and the reason why I'm interested in doing this reading is simply because Megan Thee Stallion has come out with a lawsuit against Nosy Live. I can't say what is actually the actual name because I don't know if YouTube will demonetize me for it, but it's spelled Heaux, if you all know what that is. So Nosy Live and Megan Thee Stallion are currently locking horns right now and going at each other's throats because of some of the, I guess you can say, salacious things or allegations that Nosy Live has claimed about or said about Megan during her trial with Tory Lanez and Kelsey Nicole. In doing so, there's also a couple of other people that have been brought up in the lawsuit. I think one of the other main ones was DJ Academics, if I'm correct. And he was the one who kind of like did the spark, who really sparked my interest in doing this reading and my interest and kind of wanting to get to the bottom of this, because he mentioned that there is something here about a sinister, he feels, in regards to kind of like Roc Nation and Megan Thee Stallion coming after all of these Black or people of or BIPOC independent media, small media companies and groups and corporations and stuff like that they've started, and yet people like, and this isn't my words here, and people like Piers Morgan is just threatened with a cease and desist letter and they move on about their day. But here you are trying to silence, lawsuit, or like own some of these smaller media companies or prevent them from ever talking about you because of a narrative that you're trying to spread. And on top of that, I believe Nosy Live also got some lawyer group. They're like a nonprofit that work for people who have little to no money, but they need legal representation. And she's working with them. They're out of California, and they also issued a letter in regards to like, we're standing up for Nosy Live against Megan Pete, just because of the rumors and allegations, or if somebody says something that you don't like, it doesn't give you a reason to sue them. And so this is what's coming up, and I'm doing this reading also just on the heels of something that Jason Lee apparently revealed in regards to Megan Thee Stallion and the model Winnie Harlow getting to it at what is that white party that just happened? I'm probably messing it up. It's not Mark Brunson, right? But they were at some billionaire party, white party that recently happened over this summer, and supposedly the two got into, is it Mark Rubin? I don't know, something like that. They got into an altercation. So I think this is a very timely reading on top of everything else that seems to be coming on and coming out about Megan. And Jason Lee did as he promised. He said he had some dirt or whatever, some news about Megan Thee Stallion, and he was going to wait until after the whole Grammy thing so it wouldn't tarnish anything for her. Which is crazy because I don't even think she got nominated for anything either. But yeah, so here we go. This is what piqued my interest in doing this reading, and I wanted to get into it today. And I may even tack on a bonus reading in regards to the Winnie Harlow, Megan Thee Stallion beef, if there's any truth to that. But before I do have to issue a few disclaimers. One of them is along the bottom of the screen at all times. It states all statements made are alleged for entertainment purposes only. That means do not take anything I say too hard. Do not take it as true. Do not take it to the mountain top screaming it as if it is scripture, as if it's law, because that's not what this is. I use my tarot readings as just miniature confirmations that you can use if there's an inkling or something that resonates with you. Take it. If it doesn't, leave it. I am simply trying to translate and give you an intuitive message about something, this, which is the subject today, Megan Thee Stallion, Roc Nation, and independent media, and give you some kind of insight. With that being said, I always encourage you to utilize your powers of discernment in my readings, or with anyone else. You should always be utilizing your powers of discernment. And yeah. Now that I have caught you up to speed from where I was recording and getting further into this, when I first started shuffling, I had a few cards fall on the floor. I remember one of them was the Strength card, the Devil card, the Hanged Man, and I want to say it was the Eight of Swords. And to me, what I was saying, I was relaying from that I intuitively received was that I do think there is something here about Megan is kind of like on her bullish, allegedly. Like she's kind of feeling like, you know, at the time I couldn't go after y'all because I didn't have the money, I didn't have the time, I didn't have the resources, I didn't have the will or the strength to fight anybody else because I was already fighting another battle. I felt like I was fighting on so many other fronts. But now that I can focus and I can come back and get you, that's what I'm going to do. And so that was kind of like the energy I first picked up when I got those cards, but they didn't stick. They kind of fell on the floor. So now I'm going to reshuffle again and see what's going to pop out. So let's see. I'm going to reshuffle and see what I get. So we have one here. I feel like there's one more card that want to come out. Yep, okay. Yeah, so this Two of This is giving me that same thing. I didn't have the time. I was kind of out of balance at the time when I first originally wanted to go after you, when I wanted to speak out, when I wanted to say something, but it wasn't the right time. It wasn't the right place. I didn't have the resources, the strength, the will at the time to do something about it, but now I do. And with the Page of Pentacles here, it's kind of like, I don't know if she's gathered a bit more information or a bit more insight in regards to going after these independent media companies. Like, it's kind of like, I know something you don't know kind of thing. But I do also, with these coins coming up here, it would be hard to say money may also not be a factor into this as well. And it could be not so much as in Megan is broke, but that she's trying to make sure that they can't afford to say anything else. It's sending a message, which I don't think is too weird or out of the blue for people to believe. Oh, I had a few cards that flipped over in the deck. I didn't even notice. What was it? The Ace of Cups. Here we go. And then we have the 10 of Coins here is coming up in reverse. Yeah, I was fighting. This Strength card keeps coming up. It's like I didn't have the willpower. I was empty. I was depleted. I was distracted on so many fronts. I was fighting so many people at the time. You know, I was going through a whole court thing. I was, you know, trying to heal from trauma, PTSD, whatever the case may be. I'm not trying to diagnose her or throw these on her, because these may not you know, be what's remotely even something she's carrying post her whole Tory Lanez issue. But I think, for lack of a better word, you know, from those on the outside looking in, I can see how people would see it as like she was pretty much stuck. She was struggling with how to deal with the whole fallout from that whole trial, and then being dragged through the mud and being teamed and tagged up on a lot of the things that she probably felt embarrassed about it, that she wanted to keep secret coming out, or people speculating about it coming too close to home. On top of everything else, she just was like, I can't handle another fight. But now she kind of has somebody in her corner, or she feels she has somebody in her corner. Whether they're using her for their own means or whatever the case may be, she has them, and she's going to utilize those resources to the best of her ability. Okay, so it does seem like the independent media, or there's some feelings of feeling like imbued, rejuvenated, strengthened here when it comes to the side of Nosy Live. I don't know if it's because now she does have some kind of legal representation, or if other independent media artists who are also probably in the lawsuit, or who may just understand just the, what they call it, the toll of the job that they do as bloggers and things like that, or as independent bloggers, smaller bloggers, of just like people reaching out to her and just making her feel comfortable and reassured in what she's doing and fighting this battle. Let's see what's coming up here. Anything else for Nosy Live? Okay, it's this one. Yeah, this is a victim of circumstances. You've, and I don't see how anybody could argue this, whether Nosy Live was right or wrong. At the end of the day, she's a sort of journalist, I guess you can kind of say. She answers to the people. She did kind of put herself in this situation. I don't know exactly what she said or what wasn't said, but I can only imagine, with you being like a gossip blogger, or you know, a celebrity reporter, whatever you want to call it, you put yourself in this situation because you could have very much just not reported on it or said anything about it. So you are a victim of circumstances. You did put yourself into this, and you need to figure out a way out of this. You kind of need to figure out and understand what your enemy wants with you and what they're trying to do. That's the only way you're going to see your way through this and out of this situation. Nosy Live. Yep, Two of Swords here. A very tough and difficult decision coming up here. And it is founded on some emotional... It is being... The choice, the tough decision here is being fueled by some emotional undercurrent. Okay, I was trying to get this card when everything... Oh, two cards. Page of Cups and the Empress. We also do... Did Nosy Live say something about her mom? I wonder. Did she say something about her mom? About Meg's mom? Is that the reason why she really coming after her? We also have the, see, yeah, there is some money to, there is a money factor to this, of course. It is a lawsuit, but it's also a thing of like, there's some emotional reasoning behind this. And I don't think it's just, oh, you said some salacious stuff, or, you know, things that I didn't want you to say, or I didn't like you to say. I think it's more so like a vendetta of some sort, but I feel like it's probably because Nosy said something about her mom. I don't know. Again, I just said I don't know what Nosy Live has said about Megan, but you know, allegedly, I wonder if there was something like that that came up. And this is going to be a long process. I don't think it's going to be wrapped up neatly or quickly. I do think this is probably going to drag out a bit. Because again, it just kind of feels like there's something more to this. Like nobody is really willing to give a little. There is too busy. I'm standing my ground on this kind of thing. Let's see what else we get here. Okay, we have the sun here for Nosy. Okay. I do want to note this card as well because it's sticking out to the side, and this is fish. Okay. With the anchor as well. That's interesting. Yeah, there's definitely some money behind this. I don't know if Megan is hard up for money, but you see with the fish, the fish sometimes speak of like a windfall. I usually think of that saying, if you give a man a fish, he'll starve later down the road, but you teach a man how to fish, and he can feed himself and his family forever. That's kind of like what I get with this fish card here. But I'm also seeing the anchor card here, and it's coming up in reverse. So this is usually like, I feel unchained. I feel like I can actually step out here and do something now. Again, it's going back to that, before I didn't have the strength, I didn't have the resources, I didn't have the backing, I didn't have the will to go after you like I wanted to. But now that I can, I am. And you can't tell me there is not something emotionally tied or like fueling Megan's decision behind this. Whether it's embarrassment, I'm just going after you for going after me the way you did, whatever the case may be. It's like Megan's like, I'm coming back for what they call it, my winning lap, essentially. Nosy Live is getting the sun in reverse. So that's essentially like, I just don't have good feelings about you. I don't have anything positive to say about you. I don't like anything that you stand for, what you do. I do also feel like it's kind of a thing of like, oh, you're here blowing up my spot. You're trying to make things hard for me. Okay, let's see why this Two of Swords is coming up here between these two ladies. Okay, first things first, we do have the bouquet. Oh, public apologies, huh? Why is this Two of Swords here? Let's see if this really meant to come out. It's interesting the bouquet came out. Okay, there we go. The Clover, yeah, not so good luck. This just, to me, it feels like it's not a winning game for either one of them. I think the public is going, like independent media, the public is going to be split on this. There's going to be some people that's going to be like, yeah, I understand why Megan's doing it, but should she be doing it? No. And then there's a sense here of some people like, I'm glad somebody is kind of going after some of these supposed journalists, because they're acting as if they're like professional journalists or people who actually do their research when they do these stories, but you're really just doing it to make money. You're really just being salacious about it. You're really just out here to hurt people because you see is money to be made in grifting or causing a division or whatever the case may be. That's sort of the sense that's coming up here. I do think both of them is going to just be a money pit for both of them. You see his coins in this as well. You see the honeybee is going to be a taxing thing on both of them. I don't think right now what I'm not really getting a clear winner, because even say if Megan wins, okay, you won, but at the cost of what? People are going to look at you. Are you going to lose more favor with the public? For one. For two, is it going to be a thing of like now, oftentimes some of the smaller media bloggers or reporters, whatever you want to call them, they're oftentimes the ones that help people kind of blow up before the big media do. And then after enough of them have kind of gone on board, then the big media is reporting you. Like, you are enclosing a space that you could potentially make into your own. And that could be another reason why she's doing that too. Me personally, I wouldn't be surprised if Roc Nation was trying to kind of, this is my opinion. I haven't even did a reading on them yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's a thing here where it's like Roc Nation is trying to close down a lot of these smaller media companies and possibly put them under their umbrella, and they will also be able to control the narrative of their artists and stuff. I mean, it's not that far-fetched. We have had people do stuff like that before. But yeah, to me, between these two, this lawsuit was going to come out of it. It just feels like neither one of them are really going to win. Because even if Nosy Live wins, it still feels like it's a thing of like, okay, you won over Megan Thee Stallion. Okay, great. But you still are someone who report on things that, or in a way you report things, is still an issue. Like, people will still have a problem with that, because I believe this is like our second or third lawsuit, because I believe this is also the same woman who was sued by Nikki for alleging that she does. Okay. Let's see here. Any additional information I'm going to receive in regards to the lawsuits. This battle between Nosy Live and Megan Stallion. Okay, I don't want a whole book. I just need no more than 3 cards, period. Any further insights? These 2. The Eternal Child. The Destroyer. Okay, so I actually have 2. Is this 2 cards that fell on the floor? 1 sec. Okay. Yeah. And then we also have Starborn. Let me move these over. There's a lot of shining light and focus on stars, on like guiding light here. Even when the Destroyer, it's kind of like you're looking at the like the Big Dipper kind of thing. The Eternal Child, I'm trying to construct something. It's almost giving what is that, the Empress energy here as well. Like this is the birth, the start of something. And then you have the Starborn here as well. Kairos, if I'm not mistaken, is dealing with destruction as well. Let me grab the book. I have to make sure. Yeah, fighting against time, alignment, ease in decisions, and action. Yeah. That's interesting. What does the Eternal Child say? Because that is something pretty interesting that we're getting here. Let's see. I'll probably have to go. Yeah, I think I have to go back up here to the front. The mother, the father, and the Eternal Child. Yeah, when I seen the Eternal Child, I was thinking petulant child, almost like throwing a temper tantrum. I almost get the okay, allegedly, and this is me here. I almost feel as if, and I don't know if it's Roc Nation per se. I don't know if it's them per se, or if it's just people that Megan has surrounded herself with, or that she has removed herself from. So now that she has an echo chamber, it almost seems as if she has a bunch of yes men around her, and everyone is indulging her like she's like the only child, like she's the only child of like royalty or something like that. It's almost giving like Queen Victoria energy. You're the only child, you're the star child, you're the only option we have. And so it's kind of like it's almost like as if they spoil her to an extent and just let her believe everything is what it is, and she runs with it. And it's almost like, spare the rod, spoil the child kind of energy. But it's almost as if they just letting her run off the leash. And even though she's a grown woman, I just don't think there's enough people still that's balancing her and telling her like, hey, I get it, but I think you need to think about this a bit more clearly. I think you need to step back for a second. I don't think Megan has somebody like that around her. It's kind of giving you, she's feeling herself. She's, them britches is too big. Okay, let's see. I want to see what it is Roc Nation's potential dealings or involvement in this, if there is any. Let's see. Okay, oops. I went to stop and I dropped all my cards. Hi, puppy. Okay, let's see. Try this again. I do want to know some of the ones that flipped over, though. Let's see here. We do have the Queen of Cups. We have the Devil here, which I think is kind of crazy because people jokingly or sarcastically call Roc Nation Devil Nation. So that's pretty interesting. We also have the Two of Swords coming up again. Ooh, the Five of Wands. We also have the Hierophant and the Page of Wands. But I'm going to mix these up in here and see what is meant to stick. So far, we just have the Eight of Wands. And we are looking at Roc Nation's potential involvement or reasoning behind this lawsuit. Okay, that looks like the 3 cards. Okay. So it's funny the 3 of Cups is coming up again this time, but it's coming up in reverse. And then we also have the 5 of Pentacles coming up in the reverse. I'm hearing crack the market. I'm like, we're trying to get a crack into the market. Break into the market. Maybe that's the word. Break into the market. Okay, who is this Queen of Cups? Because she's come up a couple times now. We also have the 4 of Swords. And then, looky, what we have here. We have the Strength card coming up yet again. Yet again for the underlying energies. Okay, so the 8 of Wands being here for me, it's a couple different things. It could deal with timing. It could deal with something that is going to change quickly. We don't know if it's going to be for the better or for worse. It's sort of something neutral. And sometimes this can speak of power, like the amount of like velocity behind something, like how much power you want to put behind this. And then with it going into the 5 of Coins here coming up in reverse. So of course, with this being coins, it could deal with something monetary, but usually the 5 of Coins gives me like you've been shunned, you've kind of been pushed out of society, you're not getting the actual help that you need. You may be passing up an opportunity or a handout that you may actually need, but because of what it looks like or who it's coming from, you can't accept it, or you don't want to accept it. You're having a hard time accepting it, kind of thing. And then again, with the 3 of Cups coming here and it's coming up in reverse, it's pretty interesting when we're dealing with a corporation, like Roc Nation, for example, because of usually you would see it in the upright, like we're all in alignment. We all know what we're here for. We all know what we're working towards. We all are, have a shared mind or a passion and purpose behind doing this. But with it coming up in reverse, it's making me wonder, is there some potential with the 3 of Cups coming up in reverse, especially with this dealing with the business, it's kind of like we are all going into this, or the reason behind maybe some of the bigger people backing this or being involved in this situation. It could be like we are not of the same we don't have the same reason for why we're going into this. Like, you're doing it because you want to prove a point and get back at this person to do something, but I want to do it because I see a potential business venture here. This is a potential business opportunity. This is a time for me to try something, like a trial and error kind of thing. So that's pretty interesting to me, that that's what I'm getting with the Three of Cups coming up in reverse. But let's see here. Any more information, some more insight into this. And again, we're looking at Roc Nation, the company. Like, why would they be, if they have any involvement in this? What is the reasoning? What is something that they see they can get out of this? Okay. Not a loyal friend here with the dog coming up in reverse. And then that fish card is coming out again. I guess you say, what can make me feel this way? I wonder if this... Okay, something was coming up about Kelsey, but I forgot it. I don't know where the thought was going. What I will say, that with this dog coming up in reverse, I do think there's a sense of, I don't know if there has been a lot of negative spins around Megan's behavior in the past, especially with when that whole situation happened with Tory Lanez. Like, you heard she fell out with her friend and hairstylist. I think his name was EJ. You heard she fell out with Kelsey Nicole. You know, whether people want to look at it this way or not, she fell out with Nicki. Some people think she has fallen out with Cardi B. A lot of people, or I would say there has been conversations of people saying that she's an opportunist. Some say it's just her playing the game, however you want to see it. I do think there is a thing here of, like, maybe they're trying to control some of that, or tamping down on some of that, because they think that's probably what's been making it hard for her to sell. Is that what it is? It's like we are willing to do this in order to kind of like clean up the image a little bit, or control the image. Doesn't hurt if we make a little money out of it, which I don't think they feel like they're going to make money out of it with the fish coming up in reverse. It's more so like just sending a message. Don't talk about our artists. I don't think they're doing it out of best interest either. I'm gonna tell you what it feels like, almost, or what I'm picturing as, you know, like when people are in, say, basketball. I know basketball and football, oftentimes they do this. When you're getting recruited for like a certain college or to go to a certain team, they try to sweeten the deal, sweet talk you. They, you know, may loan you money. They'll give you certain jerseys, certain benefits and stuff like that in hopes that you sign with the team. That's kind of like what this feels like with Roc Nation. We're doing this in hopes that you sign to the team. Even though in a sense she's already signed to them, it's kind of like we're doing this to have more buy-in from you, or more loyalty from you, or something like that. Oh, okay. What is, okay, I had two cards here. We also have the coffin and the man. Is this about Tory? What do they got against Tory? And look what comes out underneath, the letter. And what else? The owl. So yeah, this is dealing with some kind of message, contract, some kind of communication that's a struggle, some kind of narrative that may be out there in the world that they are trying to either nip in the bud now or control or clean up. And you seen the woman was the other card that was under there. Again, the coffin, it's very much like the death card. It speaks to something, you know, some kind of transformation, something ending. Is it? Yeah, it just makes me feel like this is something to do with Tory Lanez. I don't know what the beef is or the alleged beef is with Tory Lanez and Roc Nation. I know a lot of people have a conspiracy around that. I don't know much about that, because I was very much tired of hearing about the whole Megan and Tory Lanez things. You know, no disrespect to anybody. It was just, I was going through my own thing at the time. So I didn't keep up with a lot of the stuff that was going on with that. And it's been dragged out long enough. It's a dead horse at this point, but it keeps coming up. Yeah, we do have the coffin here. And then it's coming up about a man. Did Nosy Live say something in particular that maybe Tory could use later to his benefit? I don't know what that is. Why the man would come up here. It could also speak to just bad intentions too. Like somebody is coming from bad intentions. But let's see what else I'm going to get here. Oh, I see one card here. We have the vow. Oh, is this upholding a promise that they said to her? Because I said something earlier about buying the loyalty. I wonder if this was something that they promised they was going to do for her if she signed with them. And so it's just kind of like following through on the promise, which we did get the contract and the messages and stuff up underneath there. We do have the threshold here as well. And this is usually just kind of getting ready to step off onto the edge of something, step off into something new. That Starborn wants to pop out again. I think I need to read that one. Is there anything else that wants to come out, Spirit, in regards to Roc Nation's involvement or potential involvement in this situation, this lawsuit? Okay, we have Agape. Let's read this Star Child one because this has come up twice now. Starborn is number 3. So this reads, the Starborn archetype points to the cosmic spark of light that arises with each being at birth. The royal stars above are said to constellate in a unique shape that maps our path in the world. This is speaking to the Starborn naturally feels a sense of destination and purpose, aiming itself toward a future that is beyond the mundane. When this card appears, don't be surprised if you receive a surge of desire for a long lost dream, one you haven't visited since childhood. Okay. So there's something that they have been wanting to achieve. Ooh, why would they? With the threshold here in Agape. I'm trying to see what page Agape is on because I don't remember this one. I want to say this is dealing with where is it? What page is that on? Yeah. Okay, yeah. So it says this speaks to service, reverence, honor, and joy, righteousness. It's kind of going back to that whole thing I said earlier. I wouldn't be surprised if this was like a part of the bargain or the deal, and allegedly Megan joining the Roc Nation team. We'll be your hammer where you need us. We'll be your heavy man if you join us. We'll go after them. We'll help support you. We'll do this, we'll do that. But you got to make sure you sign to us first, kind of thing. And this is just following through on a favor, on a promise. Because it don't seem like, oh, this is going to help them make any money. It's not something behind it that's going to help them at all. It's just, we doing this to buy the loyalty and the favor in the long run. That's probably why this Three of Cups is coming up here. Like, they're not really invested in it emotionally, financially. Like, we're not really invested in it. We did this because this was a promise. This is part of doing business, essentially, is what I'm getting. If they're involved at all. Okay, and lastly, I think I'm going to save the best one for last. We're going to find out. Let's see if there's what's going to be the outcome of this situation. Okay, ooh, Judgment. That's not a good card to see when you're dealing with legal matters. It's up there with the Justice card. Okay, I feel this one trying to flip over. Ooh. And then I have these two again. Okay. Yeah. So this just feels like this is gonna get ugly almost. I'm not getting a clear winner. And that may be the thing of like both the defended, the what they call it, the defended, the whatever, like Megan and the independent media, both of them are gonna kind of come away bruised from this. Like it's no way winning from this. That's what this Five of Swords is kind of giving me. Like, it's not gonna be an easy thing for you to win. Nobody, it's not really a clear winner that's gonna be emerging from this again. The Judgment card coming up here again, I do think there's gonna be something where it's just gonna bring or solidify people's thoughts about either team, whether it's Nosy Live or independent media itself, or how people feel about Megan. Like, it just feels like it's gonna solidify things here. It's gonna just, we're gonna bring all the dirty skeletons out of both of y'all closets, and it's just gonna be ugly. It's gonna be nasty. I do wonder why this Queen of Swords is popping up here. Who is this Queen of Swords? I mean, it could be Megan because she is an Aquarius, I believe, right? So this could be her. This could be her. But the underlying cards I have here is the Two of Coins. We also have the Eight of Cups. I'm sorry, the Seven of Cups coming up here in reverse. And then we also have some sneakiness, some hardship coming up here, some underhandedness with the Seven of Swords as well coming up in the upright. Yeah, so to me, this just speaks to there's something underneath the surface that's not quite what it seems. Some sneakiness, some underhandedness going on here. This, with the Seven of Cups also being here too, makes me wonder, are you doing this for the right reasons? Like, you need to go back and look at why you are doing this, because it might be for the wrong reasons, and you're doing all of this and it's just going to cost you more than it should. Like, are you willing to actually pay the price and do the fight? Okay, and I got my 3 cards. Anything else flipped over? No, absolutely not. So we have the book, the whip, and the bear. You can't tell. This could go for both of them, really, but the bear just is very protective of my material wealth, resources. It's mama bear energy. And again, I mentioned something earlier too when I did the first part between just kind of like why Megan decided to go after this lawsuit. And I feel like it was something in particular Nosy Live said that just teed Megan off, and she's coming back for vengeance, and that could be why the bear is here. Again, there's something here about, again, it wouldn't surprise me because this is something legal, but it could be something dealing with some information is going to come out or there's going to be leaked about in this situation that's going to change the tide of what people believe or think about one or the other. There's something here also maybe about knowledge, something that has to be learned or that's going to be gained, or something that may be learned in this situation, with the book being here. And the whip just usually speaks to kind of like applying yourself, repetition. This could be something dealing with, because the whip shouldn't surprise any of you, can sometimes read as a sexy card as well. So I wonder if it's a thing of like she's going after her for divulging the sexiness of the Tory Lanez trial here. And then the underlying cards we have here is the key. The anchor comes up again. And we also have the garden. I wonder, this kind of feels along the lines, and I think I did a reading on this one too. This kind of feels like it's sending a message to not just the independent media, but maybe the people that they're talking to. I wonder if there has been some stuff that Nosy Live has divulged or said that maybe she could have only received for somebody who was close to Megan, who had fallen out with her. And that's why she's going after her, is to send a message through Nosy Live and these other independent media outlets to the people by extension who go to her, who go to them in trying to divulge information about Megan. I think that's what this may be. If you don't have a independent platform to go to, you don't have somebody outside of it that you can go to who can help amplify your message, that works better in my favor. I think that's what this is. I think the money is just a nice topping, the ice on top of the cake here, but this star child, this starborn has flipped over every time in this reading. It's ridiculous. The storm is what comes up here. And what else? But yeah, this just reads like it's going to be a very contentious and nasty fight because neither one of them are willing to back down. Okay, here's the other 2 cards. So we have the womb, the start, the beginning of something, and then the shaman. I see the shaman and I'm thinking of martyrdom, but the womb and the storm coming up. I need to look at this one. The womb is Aryan energy, it looks like too. Again, I was trying to say that I was trying to go around that, avoiding that, thinking that's as simple what it is, but it might just be that simple. I feel like there's something that either Nosy Live knows or has said about maybe something on the personal front when it comes to Megan, more so dealing with like her family. And I want to say it's something stemming with her mother or her grandmother or something. And that's the reason why she's so like pissed. And look at the underlying cards we have here. We have the Judge, and then we have the Empty Room, and then the Orphan. That's kind of sad. That's because if you don't know Megan, and look, it's a snake too. She's doing this whole snake vibe. But if you didn't know, sadly, Megan is is an orphan. She has lost both her mom and dad. Her mom was recent. I want to say it was probably within the last 3 or 4 years, and she also lost her grandmother. So she's kind of by herself. She's an only child too. So she is alone out here in the world. And then we have the Empty Room, and then the Judge. That's interesting. And that may be something to know here, that to not making excuses for Megan at all. But I think that's something that people do need to consider, is that she is out here in the world by herself. And she's probably very used to having to fight her battles on her own. And now that she kind of has a leg to stand on, so to speak, she has someone in her corner, someone she can kind of lean on, and they're actually worth their weight in gold. She's going to take advantage of that. And she might lash out in a certain way because she is an only child. Not to say all only children are spoiled and very single-minded, but, you know, she's used to having to probably go out here and handle everything on her own. And so it could to us just look like, or at least to me, I'm not going to rope y'all in on my bias, but, you know, to me, it just appears like a child throwing a temper tantrum, but it's something deeper than that. I'm trying to fill a void. I'm trying to make up for something. I'm getting my lick back. And I don't care, because y'all gonna say what y'all want to anyway, but I can at least control some of what you say, or I can shut you the fuck up for good. And so that's kind of like where I feel like this energy is coming from. Again, I'm not getting a clear like who's gonna win here. I'm just getting like, it seems like there's gonna be a lot of things the public is gonna become informed about when it comes to this whole situation. And it doesn't seem like it's gonna be a pretty fight. It's gonna get pretty ugly. I mean, we have the Storm card here, for goodness sake. All right. So the bonus reading is going to be on whether there was really a fisticuff, an altercation between Winnie Harlow and Meg Thee Stallion. I'm going to finish it up with that one. Let's see what I get. Okay, all right, hold on. Hold your turn. Hold your turn. Hold your pause. Okay, let's try this again. I have 11 cards wanting to pop out. I don't know why there would be competition between the two, but that's kind of what I'm getting here. I don't feel like it's any love lost. And it could be that they probably don't even know each other, but this is just kind of giving like there may be some competition of some sort. Are they competing or vying for the same man, or were vying for the same man? Was the argument over a man? Oh, that was way too many. Let's put these two over first. Let's see. We have the cross and we have the house. I'll say this, it's not coming through clear for me, but I would say I wouldn't be surprised if these two um don't have the most nice things to say about each other, if they have anything to say about each other. And I don't know if it's because they're like in this particular group or circle of individuals where it's kind of like, again, competition or vying for the same the attention of the some kind of the same suitors, but that's what I'm getting. I don't know if these two actually fought. It could have been just like an argument. If if anything, I don't see this kind of being like fight. Hmm. What is this? Got the clover. I kind of don't believe it. I kind of don't believe it. I don't think it was the big blow up as Jason is saying. But again, if he has proof, we gonna see who's right or wrong here. But to me, it just feels like I don't. They barely have any connection with each other, and if they do, it's just kind of like, hey, we do it for pictures or whatever, or because we're in the same realm and stuff like that. But it's also like, I very much see you as competition, kind of like the typical thing you would expect out of two big powerhouses in Hollywood. Yeah. So that's what I'm getting in this reading, you guys. Let me know what you think down in the comment section below. Especially if you're watching this on replay. Thank you so much for watching. For those of you who like this reading, make sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you would like to see more like this, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell, selecting it to all so you can see the next time I upload. For those of you who came here today or mistook the video or is going to ask what happened to the Trump-Vance presidency, what's going to come up in the future for that. If you did not see my community tab, I did indeed do the video, but I privated the video because I was not tapped in. My mind was elsewhere. I was not getting anything with that reading. So I am going to retry it and see if I get anything on there. I'm going to probably record it after this one and see if there's something that I get, because the girl's head was not in the reading and I wasn't really picking up on anything. So I am going to try that again, have that up this week, and not have it on the back burner and sitting and waiting in the wings forever. With that being said, again, thank you all for coming in and watching the video. Again, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Yeah, that's what I'm getting for this reading, but we're gonna see if something comes out of this. But this seems to be like the second time Jason Lee has kind of said something, and not trying to doubt him, but just saying this seems like the second time he has said something about somebody over at Roc Nation, and it seems to like not be any proof, or at least related to Jay-Z, and there seems to be no proof to it. But again, we'll see. He has also been right about a couple other things too. Like, I believe he was the one who called out, who tweeted earlier about Queen Elizabeth being gone and the fallout. I believe he was the one who reported it first about the whole fallout between JT and Glorilla too. So maybe it's just gonna be a matter of time before it comes out. Who knows? But I'm getting that I don't think it was a knockdown, drag out fight. I think maybe it was like a big altercation, like an argument that kind of blew up, but I don't think it got that messy, but we'll see. With that being said, thank you again for watching, whether you've been here before or if you are a new person, a new member kind of coming in and watching this. Hello, hello, hello. With that being said, I am Lotus Mage Divination, and I wish you all a good night or good day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.